All right, all right. Hello, hello. Okay, it's 12:04. We're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, then. Let's go ahead and open up in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to gather and pray to you and gather in your name, Lord, that you have gifted us with the ability and the patience and the ambition to understand these markets and to pull money from it. Lord, it is in your name that we have the ability to do this, God. And you say that when two or more people are gathered in your name, what they ask will be given to them, and they are blessed. Lord, we ask you for the wisdom to see the markets this week, for the patience to wait for moves, and the strength to stay away if we don't see what we are looking for. I pray this in Jesus' name, amen. Okay. All right, then. So let's really quickly kind of review what happened this last week. In comparison to our analysis. So the dollar didn't really move at all. It dropped into these equal lows that we had marked, but that's all it really did. It kind of just consolidated. So we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it ended up ending bullish. But if we go to the 4-hour, it hasn't broken any significant high as of yet. So it kind of just, it did come to one of our zones, but it kind of just stayed there after that. So let's look real quick at what we said last week. Okay, so our option 2 was price opens a bit higher Sunday through like Monday-ish, and then it sells into that sell side liquidity that we had marked. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday, price reverses to the upside. So that basically happened. It just didn't push to the upside as much as I had anticipated, although it still ended bullish. So right here, this is our Sunday opening candle, right? It kind of swept its own open, and then it pushed up into Tuesday, all the way up into Tuesday, and then it sold. And on Wednesday, it pivoted to the upside. It just didn't break out. And then in contrast to that, I usually trade Nasdaq futures, but I didn't trade it this week because it was just not giving me what I wanted to see in order to trade it, which is totally fine. So if we go here, okay. So we ended up getting option 1, but the reason why I didn't trade this is just because, let's go drop time frame. So if you read option 1, price opens lower, then pushes up into the 4-hour chalk or the imbalance above it, which would be the high on Friday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday sells off for the rest of the week. So that's basically what happened. So here's our Sunday opening price. Price pushed up. This was that 4-hour chalk right here. Price pushed above that into this imbalance. And then it came down on Monday and bounced here. And then kind of consolidated a little bit. And then Tuesday during New York session, it just decided to start pushing down. And so we ended our Tuesday New York session right about here. So for me, I'll anticipate a pivot on Wednesday. So I was looking for right here because it's below the Sunday open by Wednesday. I was anticipating some sort of a push up, but it looks like our pivot for the week actually happened on Monday, honestly, which can happen. It's just not as common, which is why I don't typically anticipate a Monday pivot, because this was our highest point for the week and then just pivoted and then we just started to continue down, which is totally fine. So I just didn't trade it personally because it's just didn't do what I normally do. But Dow Jones was giving me better price action, so I did decide to trade this pair this week, and I definitely took losses on this pair because I'll show you. I didn't take any wins this last week, which is fine. Okay. So our option 1 for US 30 was price opens lower on Sunday, then pushes upward to possibly sweep the high of last week, or push all the way up to the negative 27 of the Fibonacci level, and then it sells off for the remainder of the week. So that's exactly what happened. So we had Sunday open right here. Price barely pushed below it, but it still pushed below. And then it pushed up from Monday into Tuesday. And then we got here on Wednesday, which if we kind of just take it back for a second. Let's see. Was it this one that we did? Look at this one. Okay, yeah, there we go. So when we fib the last expansion, our objective, the negative 27, was literally exactly right here. So when we got here on Wednesday, I anticipate my Wednesday pivot. We were at the negative 27. We met our upper objective. We had a consolidation right here that was swept during London. And then we had price push up into this buy side liquidity. So I anticipated this to be a Judas swing and then for price to sell off. But it just decided to continue to push up into Thursday, which is totally fine. And I did not win that trade. So then the following day, right here, we literally had the exact same price action. So price pushes up, consolidates through Tokyo, and then it sweeps that consolidation through London, and then it pushes back up in during the beginning of New York to sweep this buy side, and then it sold off perfectly. So this is the move I was trying to catch on Wednesday. It just didn't happen on Wednesday. It happened on Thursday, which again isn't normal, I would say. It doesn't usually happens on like Tuesday or Wednesday, so wasn't really tripping there. But either way, the analyses were still pretty on point. This did follow my bearish analysis, but the weekly candle still ended bullish. And you see this huge wick. We'll talk about that in a second. But it ended bullish because I think that if we sold off on Wednesday from here this much, we definitely would have ended up below Sunday opening. We would have got a bearish candle. But we pushed up an extra day here. into Thursday. So, but I mean, the analysis was on point. It's just the days were off, which you can't be right all the time. So let's go ahead and start this week's analysis. Is this the last? This will be the last week in July. That's so crazy. Time is flying so fast. See, today's Saturday. Well, technically not the last day, but the last full week. Because I think next week we'll have a couple days left. Yeah, so it's kind of frustrating when your analysis is on point, but your execution, like you don't get to take any money out of the market. But I mean, like I said, you can't always win it. You just have to follow. The most important thing to trading isn't winning trades. I mean, like, that sounds like a really stupid statement, but you could win a whole bunch of trades off of luck, or you could win a whole bunch of trades that have no strategy to them, that have no calculation, have no type of system behind those wins. And you're not going to be able to like implement what you did to take that win. You're not going to be able to repeat it. So then that's just going to turn into more losses, right? Because it's probably going to be completely emotional. So the most important thing in trading is to follow your trading plan, even if it doesn't give you a win for that week. Sometimes you hit a losing streak. I've been in a losing streak for a whole month. It's not fun, but you have to stick it out no matter what. Because if I take a win and I don't know why I won, that's really not a win. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't repeat that. A win is making a salary off of Forex or off of trading from like a whole year of trading consistently. A win is not taking one trade and winning that trade. A win is ending the year profitably. Oops, why do I keep putting image? Okay. The dollar. All right, then I'm gonna look at the news first, which typically I don't do that, but I feel like some crazy news is about to come out for some reason. And the whole election thing's starting to get really hot. So it's starting to get pretty interesting. I think I heard word, and this was just from somebody else. I didn't actually see this myself, but no, actually, this was from a news station. They said that President Joe Biden was agreeing to step down as soon as maybe this weekend, which don't quote me on that because, people just say stuff. But yeah, crazy stuff is happening the closer we get to the election. So, and to be completely honest with you, the economy is not what they say it is because you can just go to the store and your ribeye is $25. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of just like it seems like they've been messing with the numbers to make certain people look good. So if the certain people isn't in office anymore, then I kind of just wonder, what the data will reflect. Okay, Monday. Unemployment. So we don't have that much US news this upcoming week. Why does that look completely? Oh, I need to refresh this when we're good. Okay, so flash. Okay, so nothing too crazy. I don't think we've seen the full effects of the last CPI report. Happen. Yeah, because the dollar really hasn't gone anywhere yet. Here's the 11th. So we had a move to the downside, but this is like not really anything super significant. So, but it's looking like we're gonna be able to lower rates possibly this year, is what they're saying. Because they've had like 3 good CPI reports in already, which is just crazy to me because you don't see that in like the prices of stuff. Like if you go to the store right now, everything is so expensive. So it's just kind of interesting, it's hard to, who do you believe? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so for the dollar this week, we did have a bullish candle. So we sold into this liquidity. I'm gonna delete these lines right here. And like I said, I'm still biased for a bullish dollar right now. I think that we can get bearish movements when they have language that suggests we're going to lower interest rates, but interest rates are still high. And the dollar is still making a lot of money. Okay. So logically, if they're going to lower it this year, I said this last week, if they're going to lower the interest rates this year, the banks are going to want to get the most premium price to sell the dollar from. So I think that these equal lows that we just dropped into could potentially catapult us back to the upside. So this high right here on the daily is going to be a significant level for us to watch. Because if this gets broken, then we're going to look for a retrace for then price to push up. Okay. Like I don't even need to go to the weekly right now. Okay, so I see a couple things happening here. First off, let's fib this weekly candle. Let's drop down. So if we get this high broken, which this was Tuesday, so this was the high of last week. Okay. All right, so since we dropped into that sell side liquidity, I know that price wants to seek buy side next. Okay. So I could see price like opening a bit lower on Sunday here, pushing up Monday-ish, which would also break this structure. And then we get a retest by Tuesday or Wednesday in this area somewhere. There's imbalances here. There's probably order block right here in here somewhere. And we also have Fibonacci levels and then we're going to go higher. How high? I do, for like the long term, I do want to see this high get tested again. But I think our first and most logical objective would be this imbalance right here for price to go to next. Because for all we know, price could just come in here, fill this imbalance, and then it could continue to sell off. Okay, so we just want to start with this objective right there. So let's write that down. Okay, so let's see if we can't pull a bearish scenario out of this. I think we could consider these relative equal highs right here. So maybe we could get on Sunday, price opens a bit higher. Maybe it doesn't sweep these, but it actually makes another relative equal high here. So, because this is a consolidation pattern as well. So we would just continue that on Sunday, and then like maybe like Monday we get a move down into this area somewhere. And then by Tuesday, Wednesday, we come up into here. And then we sell off for the rest of the week. That would be, because remember, we have our 6-month bearish order block, or bullish order block, excuse me. And this would be our 61.8% of that. So if we were to continue bearish from here, this would be our next objective that we want to look for. We just take a quick peek to the left. This order block has technically been tapped into, but there's imbalance here. Now that order block here, which if you look at this uptrend, our low is here, our high is here, we have a low here. Some people would not consider this a high and a low and a high. They would just go low, high, low, high. Like they would skip over this, which is totally fine. I would consider this a high in this overall trend, but I know that it's possible that it could just be a microstructure inside this bigger trend. So if it gets invalidated and price wants to come down here more until it pushes up again, I can totally see that being a possibility. But for now, we're going to focus on just the 61.8%. And if you need a little refresh of where that 61.8% retracement is coming from, we have a 6-month bullish order block right here, and we just did this candle. Okay. So I'm just going to take one more look at this, see if I'm missing anything. I don't think so. I think that's fine. My other thing was just wondering if, but it's kind of high, if our sweep could come all the way up into that weekly imbalance. I don't think it's impossible. It's just a little far. And I mean, we do have Powell testifying. Wait, no, wrong days. Yeah, we don't have any crazy news that's coming out for like a wick to happen that would get us up there. So yeah, FOMC's next week. But we'll just keep our eye on this weekly imbalance. Okay, so okay. I'm just gonna delete this. Oh, let me just do this real quick. So if you didn't catch what I said, like on the Sunday open, it opens a bit higher to make another lower high in the consolidation. So if that happened on Sunday, these relative equal highs, that's a double top, would become a triple top like this. But it wouldn't break any of these. It could even break it a little bit and still be a triple top, but because either way, it's still going to be an area of resistance. Okay, so what did our bullish look like again? I think our bullish look like this. I literally forget on a bit lower than pushes on Monday. Oh yeah. Okay, so our bullish was like this. So this is like our Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then expansion. Oh, okay. So I really have my eyes on the Nasdaq this week because, like, obviously we all know that the Nasdaq is extremely bullish. So when you get a significant sell-off, you know what I mean? You're gonna get a huge catapult, and potential to catch a very large swing to the upside. So So the reason why I said I don't think the effects of the last CPI report have actually hit the markets yet is because if we get lower CPI, okay, that's going to affect the dollar bearishly, which we saw a bearish reaction. Okay. But that should provoke a bullish reaction when it comes to the stock market. Let's see, where's our 11? Okay, so this is July 11th when the CPI report came out, and it's been selling ever since. So the reason it's doing that is because it's just manipulation. And yeah, price is going to get catapulted. I would assume so. That's what I would like to anticipate. And so, like I said, the institutions are going to want to get the best price possible before a move happens. So they're taking price lower to get the cheapest price they possibly can to buy into the market before it goes crazy. So that being said, let's get rid of this. Um, I still can't remember why this line is here. So sad. It's okay. I'm just gonna read it. So we've broken a low here. And let's see. We broke this low. And not only did we break this low, we also filled in the rest of this imbalance. There's a tiny gap right here. So that's good. That's a good thing. We do have a lot of imbalance left down here. I don't know if it's going to. Okay, here's the thing. Since the FOMC is the next week, if price sells this week, like, can we just assume that they're going to raise interest rates? I mean, lower them, sorry. That'll be our tell. I highly doubt that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Because it's what, August, and they said July the soonest. I mean, it's not July, September. But who actually knows? Okay, so this is how we're going to treat this week. Yes, we have a break of structure right here. Yes, we have more imbalance to fill. Okay. So we're going to look at this as more of a, let's just look at this from a bearish perspective first. So if prices to continue downward, we want to anticipate price retracing its previous action, which is this break of structure right here. So price will come up somewhere into hopefully these areas, maybe just in here, before it continues down, right? So let me just do that a little bit better. Okay, so we have relative equal highs right here, relative equal highs right here. Okay. So let's just say maybe our Sunday price comes and takes this. Our Monday comes and sweeps the low of last week. And then we push up into our higher retracement levels, sweeping these and coming up into our sell point of interest. And then price comes down again to the next. So here's the important part that I need you to pay attention to. So yes, price looks bearish structure wise, but knowing the nature of the Nasdaq, it's probably not. So this is the move you want to catch. You want to catch price action turning around here. Okay, because it's going to take you up to here, right? So you can move your stop loss and trail it. Okay. And if price reverses to the sell side, you can get stopped out at either break even or maybe a little bit of profit, and it's, you know, it's no damage to you. But if it doesn't pivot and it just keeps going, right, then you're gonna be able to catch that move. So when we're at a point like this on the Nasdaq where we could say, okay, it might continue to go lower for now, or it's going to pivot and make a new swing high. This is the important part that you want to catch. Regardless of whether or not price is going to be bearish or whether or not price is going to be bullish, you want to catch this when we get to a point like this. Okay. You could do a lot of different things. You could get a buy. Okay. And once it gets out of here, you could either move your stop loss above where you entered, so you could just cover yourself, or when price gets here, if you know how to read price action based on what it's giving you, if it's looking like it wants to sell, you can sell from here. Okay. And then you're in kind of like a hedge to this position, which me personally, I've done hedging before. I don't recommend it if you are kind of a lower time frame trader. I just think stop losses are a lot better personally. However, I do know people that trade with hedges successfully. So what you could do with this sell trade is, based off of price action, you could risk the profit that you have in here. That makes sense. And do that. Or you could do like a lower risk, whatever you want. Personally, I don't hedge like that, so that's not what I would do, but there's a couple ways. But the important part is to catch this pivot right here. Because if it's going sky high, you could literally triple your account. I've done it multiple times. Okay. Okay, just a little clarity on that option number one. Since the FOMC is coming up the following week, we could see maybe price doesn't make a new low down here. Maybe price just comes and like comes back to its opening price and kind of gives us like a consolidation. You know what I'm saying? That it can then or like this, if you know what Wyckoff is, this would kind of be like a Wyckoff here. And then the next week we could see price break out of that to the upside, or maybe the downside first. So just be aware of that for option number one. And then, so if price was to kind of do what I just said, and continue to expand bullish. So here's our Sunday open. We move up, we sweep, and we come down taking last week's low on Monday, right? And then we come up into here around Tuesday, Wednesday, and we get some form of like consolidation, right? Price moves lower. Okay. And then it wants to go higher on Thursday and Friday. So this could kind of like fake people into a bearish week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something like this. So I'm basically gonna like copy and paste this here. Okay. So it'd be very similar price action in the beginning of the week that would signify a bearish week. But then it just kind of gives us a move like this instead to kind of psych people out, if that makes sense. Bearish wise though, or bullish wise. Yeah, they're gonna look kind of identical, honestly. Maybe we can get a Sunday open lower and then come up on Monday, Tuesday, or Monday-ish into these areas of liquidity here, maybe all the way up here, and then we get like a sell that's decently significant, and it actually does kind of hit this next objective down here, and then price pivots. So I can kind of see like three different. Okay. Yeah, so just be aware that the federal funds meeting is going to be the next week. So this week could be very, very manipulative. And maybe we won't get a new high this week, but we'll get that next week. So just be aware of what price action is doing in the beginning part of the week. And if it's acting crazy, just leave it alone. And I think on the Nasdaq though, these levels are going to be really easy to trade. Like last week's low definitely going to get taken out, and these equal highs definitely going to get taken out. So you might even be able to catch a couple good moves just going back and forth here, and then just let it do its thing. Oops. Okay, so this huge wick was left behind last week. We did want to see a retracement of this expansion, and it seems like we have gotten a pretty good start on that. We had multiple levels of liquidity on the sell side. And then if we just fib this line here, let's just go ahead and mark our 50%. That. This is probably going to be a breaker block on a lower time frame at this candle wick right here. So this could also be a potential area of support. Okay, so let's go down to lower time frame. Marking this liquidity. So last week there was a huge like health insurance carrier that had some really good earnings, I guess. Which did the Dow Jones really well. And then we also had, I'm forgetting the company, but there was a company that is apparently a technology company, and they've been kind of going under. And so I don't want to say that was like the reason for this drop, but because we could see that drop coming with just looking at price action. So let's see. This is from October last year, all the way to this here. So since we broke out of this long-term consolidation, I mean, because the Dow Jones has just been so weak, but we broke out of that. So I would think that Dow Jones is going to be bullish for a while, especially if they get NVIDIA on their roster, which there's been talk about that, because NVIDIA's basically been carrying Nasdaq. So on the daily time frame, our structure is still bullish. We have not broken any lows. This would be considered a low right here. I think that it's just retracing. I guess this would be considered. So of this price leg right here, we have our 78 is almost right next to the 50%. And our 70% is right on top of this breaker block that I was just referencing. So these are definitely high probability areas for price to come to. Will it come down there? I don't actually know that, but we're just going to keep an eye on it. Our first objective obviously is going to be this liquidity right here, because we now have relative equal lows here and here. So for me, I could see almost something identical happening. We get a push up Sunday, maybe up to these relative equal highs in here. Maybe just sweeping these ones, and then we get a push lower on Monday. And then price comes up here by Tuesday or Wednesday, which is that daily bearish order block, or that imbalance. And then we could see either price sell off in here lower. Oops. So we could either see price continue higher from here, or we could see price go deeper from there, into some deeper level of liquidity, or just these Fibonacci points. So pretty identical to Nasdaq for sure. Okay. Okay, so option two, that's gonna look the same as what we just discussed on Nasdaq. So it could come into here, give us some sort of like consolidation, and it kind of drops lower, right? And then that's when we get our continuation upward. So let me just add to this one. Okay. So this would be option one, and it could either sell to make a new low, come into these lower objectives here, or we could just see a higher low for the weekend. Kind of like we discussed for Nasdaq as well. Okay, so same thing. We come in here by like Tuesday-ish, right? And then we get some sort of like consolidation, and then on Wednesday we get like a Tuesday London session, a Wednesday London session. Price moves lower, and then we get a pivot on New York Open Wednesday to the upside, to fake people out of the market. And then another one I see happening is price could just on Sunday open lower straight into that liquidity that it's resting right here and right here. And then Monday we get a push up into some area here, either taking these highs or coming into this daily imbalance. And then we get a sell down, meet these objectives, and then we pivot through a week. I've been referencing this point as a weekly low because this was not the weekly low. If I have, I apologize. I mean Friday's low. The weekly low would be over here, which that is spot on because that weekly low is in this in this liquidity pool right here. So look at, I just put this line there and it goes straight through all of these sweeps that I just talked about. So that's actually on point. So I guess we will just reference last week's low. Okay. Right, that is it. Definitely watch the dollar, um, and what it does. I doubt they're gonna raise interest, or excuse me, lower interest rates next week, but um, Powell's definitely gonna pump the market this week in whatever direction they need for next week. Oh, we don't have him speaking. Yeah, that was last week's. Okay, so we may just get some good price action this week without nothing too crazy happening. So this could be a very good week. All right, well, that is it for me. God bless. If you're not in Regnum Exchange Discord group, you are more than welcome to join. And I hope everybody has a good week.